I left my phone thinking I wouldn't need it, and obviously I do need it to know the time. So I'm not just checking my messages. I'm concerned with. Welcome to you all, both those who are gathered here in the Octagon on the Mile End campus, and also those of you who may be watching either from offices or from home. You are very, very welcome here. My name is Ella, and I'm the chaplain here. We are meeting together to remember, with thanksgiving and sorrow, those whose lives have been either laid down or taken away in wars and conflicts, both past and present. Believing that it is possible for all people to live together in freedom, justice, and peace. Each year, as a university, we recommit ourselves to work together in penitence and faith for reconciliation between the nations. So in a few moments, we will pause, taking just a short amount of time, a marker. We will pause to remember people across the world who, in bereavement, disability and pain, continue to suffer the consequences of warfare and terror. And we will commit ourselves to speak on behalf of those without power, whose voices are not heard. We may think it's potentially an overused phrase, but we truly are a global university. There are now, I'm told, around 170 nations represented in our 32,000 students and 4,500 staff. And so there are many of us with connections both past and present across the world to people and places affected by conflict. Therefore, today we especially remember past students and staff of our colleges, as well as our own family and friends, anyone known to the Queen Mary community. In a moment, I am going to read 2 citations. They are taken from our university archives. If you're not familiar with the archives, they really are a very, very friendly group of people and very approachable. They keep the archive records here, but you are very welcome to make an appointment with them and to see the books for yourselves, to have a look at the names that are written there and to have some help. The archivists have actually written a blog this year on the names of the people that I am going to read as a token today. And there's even a photograph of one of the people named. So please do have a look. It's really very well worth doing. So I will read 2 citations from the university archives. They remember our own students from the First World War and from the Second World War. During the time of silence, however, there may be people and places known to you. So do feel free to appropriate the time for yourself. Use it to remember, to silently name. And after the citations have been read, we will sound the last post and keep the 2 minutes of silence as a mark of respect. remembering A.J. Lisson, Lieutenant and Adjutant, Royal Fusiliers of Tooting, killed in an attack on Redincourt, April 13th, 1917. He went to the front as a second lieutenant in February 1916 and was promoted in May. After the Delville Wood fighting in August 1916, he was made adjutant, and in February 1917 was offered a captaincy, which he refused on account of his keen interest in his adjutancy work. He was killed at the beginning of a fight in which his battalion went forward 6,000 yards. His lieutenant colonel wrote, "He is a great loss to me, as he was a most excellent adjutant, and his work was thorough and good. He saved a great deal of trouble not only to me, but to all my company commanders. He was, of course, constantly with me, and he was a very great personal friend." And remembering Clifford Edward Vincent, Pilot Officer RAF of 57 Goodmays Lane, Ilford, Essex. Killed in an aircraft accident 7th of June 1942, aged 20 years. He was a science student from 1939 to 1941 and was awarded an RSc degree with first-class honours in mathematics, obtaining the highest marks in the university in that subject for that year. He was a member of the Mathematical Society and of the Table Tennis Club. And William Francis Ward, Air Observer RAF of the Manse, Lydney, Gloucestershire, reported missing 11th of September 1941, aged 49 years. He was an art student from 1911 to 1912. He was a cadet in the Officer Training Corps 1911 to 1913 and a captain in the North Lancashire Regiment in the First World War. You might like to just take a moment now to name anyone known to you, any countries particularly on your heart or mind. Poem which will be read for us.
A Soldier to His Mother, 1914-1918. Dearest Mum, your letter came through just in time, for today the officer's whistle sounds on the dot of 9. But I will not be in any hurry, so there really is no need for you to worry, nor reason to feel sad, for life in the trenches is really not quite so bad. Only the mud and the rain add to the gloom, but they say the big push is coming very soon. And when we finally break through, well, before you know, I will be safely back home with you. So hold that welcoming smile. It will only be for just a while. And with each new dawn that we see, you will know that I am close to you and you are close to me. I hear the whistle blow and the enemy is in range. But then everything suddenly felt so very strange. In a funny sort of way, I cannot tell if it's night or if it's day. It's getting very cold, and I'm no longer feeling quite so bold. Ma, come closer, for I cannot quite see your face. Oh God, this is a terrible place, from which I fear I shall not depart. So hold me closer to your warm and loving heart. My head is in a spin. Oh Ma, look at the awful state your boy is in. So forgive me and pray for me, Mother dear, for I'll not be coming home from here.
They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn.
At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them. When you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today. Would you like to stand? Would you like to be seated? Those of you who are here and have a physical copy of the service leaflet will see there is a short act of commitment and a phrase for us to say together. If you are watching remotely, the phrase is, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And so we remember today all who have suffered in mind, body or spirit as a result of conflict, and for those who have died as a result of war, particularly remembering our own students and staff. And we say together, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." For all members of the armed forces who are in danger today, for their friends and family, and all who long for their safe return, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. For peacemakers and peacekeepers of every nation who seek to make our world safe, secure and free, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Having promised to work together for peace, and remembered those who gave their lives so that others might have freedom, we look now at our own actions, to acknowledge our own failings, and the times that we have brought disharmony. Not to have our worst confirmed, but to have our best liberated. We bring to mind now the places and relationships where we personally have gone wrong, where we have not brought peace, to those in our own circles of influence, noticing any particular actions that we personally might take. And looking wider now, in a moment of quiet, we name silently any particular places known to us where the hungry go unfed, while the privileged gorge themselves. Where the poor go begging, while the rich amass greater fortunes. Where tyrants have fallen, but their successors prove no better. Where the refugee is not accorded dignity, where those who are disadvantaged are excluded, where those who are disabled are left on the margins, where gender, race, or religion are grounds for suspicion. As a community, may we speak on behalf of the voiceless, defend the persecuted, protest for a fairer world, and practice simpler living. May we work together to benefit the people we love, as well as the wider world. In the response, if you would like to do it, will be, we will. What does the Lord require of you but to do justice and love mercy and to walk humbly with your God? Will you strive for all that makes for peace?
We will.
Will you seek to heal the wounds of war? We will. Will you work for a just future for all humanity? We will. So may you be blessed with discomfort at easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships, so that you may live deeply. May you be blessed with anger at injustice, oppression, and exploitation of people, so that you may work for justice, freedom, and peace. And may you be blessed with enough foolishness to believe that you can make a difference in this world, so that you can do what others claim cannot be done. Thank you very much for sharing this time